BC, ready? Okay. Aloha, everyone. We are now back to the open session as we now move forward to select a new member to replace Nadine Nakamura. The process will indicate that we will take floor nominations, and each ballot on the floor nominations will also reflect the name of the council member as we move forward. And Peter Muramoto and Scott Sato will serve as our tellers and retrieve the ballots going forward. If those nominations that are made in public receive full votes, then that nominee will be the new council member. It is possible, with only 6 members, that this council could end up in a tie. And I'm checking with the county attorney on that process, because if in fact there is a tie, then the charter, by the charter, the selection is then taken away from the council and it goes to the mayor. So that is the process that we have right now. So, Madam Clerk, should I open up the floor for nominations at this time?
Yes, please.
Mr. Raposo.
I guess it's a motion. It's not a motion, but I nominate Kipukai Kuli.
Second.
Thank you. There, in the nomination process within the Roberts Rules, there is no need to actually have a second. A nomination is a nomination. Floor is still open for nominations.
Mr. Chair, I nominate Mason Chalk.
Okay. Are there any further nominations?
Mr. Chair,
I move
that the nominations be closed.
Okay, there's been a motion to close the nominations. There's been a second by Mr. Bynum. You know, I want to say that because of the number of applicants, we had 18, and more so, the number of quality applicants we had, for me was very, very impressive. You know, I'm coming very close to my ending of my time on the council by term limits. So it's really, really gratifying to see that the fact that we had so many people express interest going forward. So to all of the applicants, I just want to say thank you very much now that the nominations in the open are closed. So I'm going to ask at this point, the nominations are, go ahead, Joanne.
Do we need a formal vote to close?
Yes, okay. I'm going to do that. I'm going to ask for a vote, and I want to do it by my habit, by roll call, please, to close the nominations. We have a motion and a second to close the nominations. May I have a roll call vote, please, to close nominations?
Councilmember Bynum.
Aye.
Councilmember Hooser.
Aye.
Councilmember Kagawa. Councilmember Raposo.
Aye.
Councilmember Yukimura.
Aye.
Council Chair Fafaro.
Aye. We have 6. 1 silent, going with the majority. Okay, on that note, I'm going to ask the members to take their nomination forms that have been passed out by the teller. Yes, Joy.
Point of inquiry. Do we want to open for testimony, or is it not part of the procedure?
Okay, I will say this again. I opened the meeting with public testimony.
Right.
We had 1 individual that chose to give testimony. the meeting was posted and approved for 9 o'clock.
I'm just wondering if now that the nominees are officially named, whether we are required to have open testimony. Are we? I don't know.
Okay, I guess that's an option of the chair right now, and I guess I would say, since the public knows we have 2 nominations, if you'd like to choose to give more testimony, I will take it at this time up to 3 minutes. I also want to remember to my colleagues that at 1 o'clock I'm booked at the Ethics Commission, so we'll go ahead.
I just want to make sure we're procedurally correct, that's all.
Well, I think that's one of the things I want to do too, but I think procedurally I did offer open time now, but if you'd like, and we know who are the 2 nominees, is there anyone that would want to speak? Again, I open it a second time. Come right up. Use the 3-minute timer, please. And I want to make, I do want to make sure you know that we only have 2 names for nomination, so if you can make note, your testimony should be directed at those 2 nominations now that they're public.
Okay, great. My name is Saul Khan, and I just want to show my support for applicant for the position, Mason Chalk. And I've known about all the fantastic work that he's done over the years, especially with Leadership Kauai and the thousands of teens and more that he's helped improve their lives and teach them leadership skills. I don't know anything about Kipu. I would speak about him if I knew more about him, but unfortunately I don't. But I just want to show my support for Mr. Chalk and that I support him.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll call this meeting back to order. Members, if you could fill out your ballots. Yes. If you turn on your mic, you could.
Sorry. Before we vote, if I'd like to say a few words. This has been a week of suspenseful moments, including right now, I know. I just want to express, like the chair, my delight at the number of excellent candidates who applied. There were many, and who are serving the community in so many ways already, and your willingness to put your name forward to serve again in another way is really a wonderful thing. I do remember times where there was a terrible scarcity of people who were willing to put their names up for a council position. So it's a blessing, and unfortunately there's only 1 seat, and so we had to really pare down and go through a number 18 to get to the 2 that are before us. I want to say that there's a lot of criteria we could use for selecting, one of them being someone who's actually run for office and served in office, because we around the table know what that experience is like and how it is not only kind of a litmus test, but it's also a really good education to run for office and go island-wide and talk to people and understand the issues. But if election were the only criteria, then the charter would have said, if there's a vacancy, pick the candidate in line. And it didn't say that. It provided for this process of application and vetting and decision-making. And so, you know, there are other criteria that we looked at. I mean, I personally, and I believe my colleagues on the floor, would love to have another woman, especially since Nadine Nakamura has left this council and was such a contributing force, you know, in our discussions. We would love to have better regional representation. We would like to have some young people or some diversity of age as well as ethnicity. So there's just a lot of things that we had to look at. It does come down to, for me anyway, who can make the best decision for the common good. And, you know, for me, those are issues of how to be able to listen deeply, how to work with colleagues, how to communicate honestly and lovingly, and the courage to make tough decisions. And who's in touch with the community and who do they know? And so I just want to know that, I want you to know that these were some of the things that we all looked at, and many of you met many of the criteria. But again, it's down to one person. And it's you know, we are looking at the two who rose to the top for nomination for a variety of reasons. And so I just want to honor the process, honor all of you who applied, and honor to the two who are here now before us.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak at this time? Mr. Raposo, then Mr. Hoosier.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And, you know, first of all, I want to thank all the people that submitted their applications and their resumes and took the time to reach out to us and speak to us. And, you know, unfortunately, as Councilman Yukimura said, you know, we had to go through a process, and you know, just two names ended up being nominatable, I guess, if you could say that. And that's the two names we have on the floor today. You know, I know both of the candidates or the applicants or the nominees, and you know, I think Joanne mentioned a lot of the qualities that she looks for, and for me, I think as we approach a very difficult budget season, when we're looking at the issues that are facing this county, more specifically the financial issues, the fiscal issues, chasing, you know, several $1 million, possibly $10 million. Looking at the two candidates or nominees, you know, I have to put my support with Mr. Cooley, simply because of his experience here on the council. He was, in my opinion, a great council member, and a very, the ability to learn real quick, and what I would say hit the ground running. His involvement in a community, and his involvement on this council while he was here as a board of director for our National Association of Counties. And I will say that as a president of the state association, all I got from the National Association was high accolades that, you know, Kipukai actually brought the Aloha spirit to the national board and was able to get a lot of things accomplished. Now, Mr. Chalk, I've dealt with Mr. Chalk in the past, and I really like Mr. Chalk as well. But, you know, we're like a board of directors that's got to hire the right person for the job, and experience, obviously, in my opinion, is very, very important, especially going into some very tough times. In addition to that, I've received numerous testimonies from the public, both written, oral, that in fact Mr. Kipukai Kuli should receive the appointment. And in addition to that, he was number 8 in the election. And I know Councilmember Yukimura mentioned that shouldn't be the gauge. Well, I think, in my opinion, it should play a very high role in the selection process. Because the people said, Mr. Kuli, we want you to be there. And the last 2 times that I've participated in this exercise, we've selected number 8. The charter doesn't say that. That's our discretion. Councilman Yukimura is correct. That's our discretion. But as we move into some very, very difficult times, I believe that we need to bring someone on this team that can walk right in, step right into a budget that's going to be very difficult. And if all of you follow this council, I think in the last few years, you cannot deny the fact that Mr. Kuli and his attention to detail, his meticulous nature, the ability to go through that budget line by line and find some areas that needs improvement was second to none, in my opinion. He was the rookie, but he taught me a lot as far as the budget. And now is the time we need that type of leadership, that type of experience, that type of knowledge. Mr. Kuli and I don't agree on everything. We don't. But that's not what this is all about. This isn't about picking somebody that's going to be an ally 100% of the time. It's picking someone that's going to be an asset to this team in the best interest of the county of Kauai. I am hoping that we can secure the necessary votes for Mr. Kuli. And to Mr. Chalk, I'm not sure if you're here. Very electable person, I believe. And I would highly recommend that Mr. Chalk consider running for office at the next election. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Raposo. Mr. Hughes, you have the floor, then Mr. Kagawa.
Thank you, Chair. And I mainly want to speak to all of you that put your name out there, and you are all leaders, and I know so many of you personally, and I just want to encourage you to keep your leadership focus, and it's just hard. This is one of the hardest things, it's a small community. We all know, many of you, if not all of you personally, we know your mothers and your grandmothers and your children, and it's just really, really hard with so many good candidates. But I, for one, would like to see all of you run for office. I think more competition is great. I think that that is one problem with our democracy, is not enough people run. And we have state offices that run uncontested. I think this last council race, there was only 9 or so. There should have been 15 or 20. And it's a wonderful experience. It's a very fulfilling thing to do, work, and running for office is just fabulous. And I would encourage all of you to really consider doing that, and I would be happy to meet with any of you and share with you whatever I can if you want to move forward in that. I've got to run, we've all got to run, but I think you add to the richness of our community and to the quality of every candidate when there's more competition. So I just admire all of you for coming out. The process is such that we have to deal with the attorneys who give us this. We can't release all the names, and there's privacy and all that kind of thing. So the process leaves a little bit to be desired, I think, in terms of the community knowing and then maintaining and protecting the process. But the process is what the process is. And both Mr. Chalk and Mr. Kuali'i are exceptional people to be nominated, and I would be proud to serve with either one of them. Both bring different things to the table and some similar things to the table. And so the good news for the council is that it's a win-win situation, that I think either one of you could serve us well and serve our community well. And I thank both of you for putting it out there, and all of the candidates. So thank you all very much. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Mr. Kagawa, you have the floor next.
Thank you, Chair. First and foremost, as council members, elected officials, we are public servants. And the people vote for who they want in office. I'm casting my vote for Kipukai Kuali'i. He ran in the last election, put his blood, sweat, tears, and money into it. He has the experience, having previously served on the council. He had shown to me and approximately 12,000 voters the kind of platform and diversity that deserves his place on this body with the opening created by Councilmember Nakamura's vacancy. I have the utmost respect for Mason Chalk, his persona, his family. I had the wonderful opportunity of getting to know his son through driver's education, and what a wonderful son and person his son is, and it's a reflection of his parents. Mason will be a wonderful addition to the council. However, it is my hope that council members will support Kipukai as public servants, knowing that the public has chose Kipukai to be the first alternate. Moving forward, I think we have two great candidates, and this council will be successful going forward. Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Hoosier wanted to go back.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I've criticized others in the past for not declaring their intent and unnecessary drama, so I want to be clear, I'll be supporting Mr. Chalk today. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Bynum?
Wow, what a week it's been, and it's not over. Through all of these days, there's this part of me that's just so excited about democracy on Kauai, about this groundswell of engagement and involvement. We came up with a list of outstanding people, the vast majority of which I could easily support and would be honored to serve with. But we have to make a choice and a decision. So thank you all that applied. Thank you all that I've learned from all of you. And I do believe we're in a win-win situation today, and that's great. But I do intend to cast my vote for Mason.
Joanne, did you want to speak?
Yes. As the nominator of Mason Chalk, I just want to say a few words about him. Mason is a really quiet presence and calm presence. He's an expert in leadership, and his greatest integrity about being an expert in leadership is how he demonstrates it and everything that he does. Saul has talked about Mason's work with young people in leadership training and in the public school systems. A big part of his leadership is about Hawaiian cultural values, and his work at the Alakoko Fish Pond with the community there is quite exemplary. And his respect for all people and his deep thoughtfulness is what will cause me to cast my vote for Mason. I want to acknowledge Kipukai, who has been a colleague for a very, very long time. In fact, when he was a young student, I think he came out and supported me, something I've been deeply grateful for. And I recognize his leadership qualities as well. And I think, it is just 1 year till the next election, and there will be electoral choice at that time. Hopefully there will be a lot of good candidates, because we need people sitting at this table of really high quality. And I just want you to know that there are, because I've had discussions with some of you, there's a need for good leadership not only on the county council. And so there's opportunities. Some of you are already in KIUC. There's planning commission. There's boards and commissions that desperately need good leadership. There are nonprofits. Some of you are already doing that. Wherever you are, or maybe in the future, that is what is making Kauai strong. We've seen so much leadership in these past few days on Bill 2491. And That's why we're a very exceptional island, and I think we have a lot to do yet.
Thank you. Would anyone like to speak a second time? No? Okay, well, I guess it's my turn, and it looks like we have a 2-3 vote at the council here. And I have to say that the chemistry of this council is one that we all have working relationships. And it's very, very important that that chemistry exists in this legislative body. I guess being, the one that will indicate whether this decision in a 3-3 vote then goes to the mayor for him to select the replacement concerns me. Concerns me because I want to make sure the decision is made at this table. I have a really good relationship with Kipukai, and obviously we've served before. I know he's contemplating running. I know I will be there to help him, but I can't end today's session with a 3-3 deadlock with the vote going to the mayor. Now, Mr. Chalk, for those of you that don't know, I'm 65 years old. I know his dad really well. In fact, I used to be his dad's boss. And we're very good friends. I am also the founding director for Leadership Kauai, and I know the qualities that he has with the skills he's developed there. And then I weigh that against all the things that Kipukai would bring to the table. His service to our community with his work at the Y, his commitment in the Hawaiian community, sense of place. I guess it's a decision that comes with being the leader of the group. And I want to say, I want the decisions for the replacement of Nadine to be a decision that came from this council. And because of that, Kipukai, I want you to know my comments about helping you next time around are real. And I have plenty of aloha for you. But from a leadership standpoint, I'm going to be casting my vote for Mr. Mason Chalk. Please. And I sincerely want to say to all of the applicants how much I appreciate it. When I first ran for council in 2000, we had 22 applicants for the council race. By the time we got to 2006, we had 14. As Mr. Hoosier had mentioned, 9 the last election. And we have to continue to stimulate people stepping forward to run for public service in our county. And I think going through this process with the 18 applicants that we have certainly indicate that we could have a lot of candidates next time around. Sir, I know you understand my message here, but I believe we need to cast our votes now. Could the two tellers tally the votes and then announce the outcome, please? And please read the ballot names from the various council members. Go right ahead, Madam Clerk.
Council Chair, the votes have been cast, and the votes are as follows. For Mason Chalk, Councilmember Bynum, Councilmember Hooser, Councilmember Kuali'i, Councilmember Kagawa has voted for Councilmember Kuali'i. Councilmember Raposo has voted for Mr. Kuali'i. Councilmember Yukimura for Mason Chalk. Chair Fafaro for Mason Chalk. A total of 4 votes for Mason Chalk and 2 for Mr. Kuali'i.
Thank you. That is the official tally. Please enter it in our journal. Again, I want to say to everyone here, thank you for participating. Please stay close to public service. It's important. We have one closing coming. Okay, I'm just going to make that announcement. People getting a hold of me. I know we have Mr. Ricky Watanabe. We have to arrange for swearing in. Do we have an estimated time? What was your message?
Yeah, within the hour.
So you're doing the credential piece, and that's in 15 minutes we can do this. Mr. Cooley, I suspend the rules. Please come up.
Mr. Chair and Council, I just wanted to say thank you, and I really want to congratulate Mason Chalk, our newest council member. I know he'll do a great job, and I want to support him and you any way I can. And I want to say thank you to my supporters and my family. And I'll see you on the campaign trail. Keep up the good work.
On behalf of the entire council, I want to thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Chalk, could we have Mr. Chalk up? Aloha. Press the...
I just wanted to say how deeply honored I am to be amongst mentors across from the table who have voted in my behalf, and also peers who have come out. You know, it's just an honor to see the amount of response that we have had in the community to support this process, to support Kauai. And I hope that it is an indication that we are moving in the positive direction, and I'm looking forward to serving in the best capacity. And what you can expect from me is consistency of my values, my beliefs, and to work together, and that means everyone, towards a brighter future for Kauai.
Thank you very much, and congratulations. I want to let you know that we will, in the chambers here, if the press would like to stay, we will actually do the swearing in today, because We have a council meeting tomorrow at 11 in the morning. Very
I'll be
good.
clearing my schedule.
Okay. BC, if I can indulge with you, I would like to take a recess. I would like to record the swearing in. I'm very sorry, I'm due at the Ethics Committee at 1 o'clock, so I may not be present, but I'd like to get it recorded. Okay? So we will adjourn the meeting, but recess the camera people. Please stay around. Thank you, everyone.